So this presentation, as I said, is just going to give you the lowdown on our annual conference. To those of you who've never been before, this is probably your first introduction. And to those of you who have been before, this is probably a refresher and kind of a breakdown of everything that you can expect from our conference in Portsmouth. So this year, obviously, Portsmouth is the host city. It is the UK's only island city located on the south coast. We are a city campus, so all of our activities from our conference business, our evening activities and our BPSA day activities, they're going to be held across multiple buildings across the campus, and we'll let you know in your delegate packs and during our briefings where you'll be going. So no need to worry, an exec will be on hand throughout the week to help get you to where you need to be. So to anybody who's not come to Portsmouth before, which I imagine is the vast majority of you, if you're coming by train, you're probably going to want to come to Portsmouth and Southsea, which is the closest station to where you're going to be staying, which is the Travelodge in the city centre. But if you fancy a little bit of shopping at Gunwharf Quays, or you want to take a little walk by the beach and the harbour, then you can go to the Portsmouth Harbour Station as well. They're about an 8 and 15 minute walk from the hotel. If you're coming from London, you can expect to be about 1.5 to 2 hours. Bristol is obviously 2 hours, and South Wales approximately 3 hours. Again, very dependent on trains and the services that are running. So please make sure that you've checked ahead what services you're going to be getting. And if you are worried at any point, please do feel free to either email us at conference@bpsa.co.uk. We will also have a WhatsApp group for all of the delegates, which all of the executive will be listed as admin. So at any point, if you're worried about getting here in time for check-in or anything like that, feel free to give us a message, but we'll have a little bit more on that later. So if you are coming by car, you're probably going to want to take, well, actually, all of the instructions are there. You can read it yourself. But what we do seriously recommend is, because Portsmouth has a green city policy, is that you please use the park and ride as you're coming into the city. You can get a week's pass there for £14. There is parking within the city as well, if you so choose to do that. And there is parking at the hotel as well, but it is limited and it's on a first come, first serve basis. So if you are driving, we really recommend you use the park and ride. And again, if you're coming by coach, you're going to be going to it's called the Hard Interchange. It's next to Gunwharf Quays. It's also next to Portsmouth Harbour train station. And we will have executive at all of these locations on arrivals day to basically signpost you and take you to where you need to go. So no need to worry at any point there. So as I mentioned, accommodation, we're all going to be staying, so this is delegates and executive, we're all going to be staying at the Travelodge City Centre, and there's the address, so you know where you're going. This is only applicable to package 1 delegates, so if you have been given a package 2, that's obviously accommodation not included. So you'll still be able to come to conference business and our social events, you just won't be staying with us, okay? Rooms will be double or triple occupancy. We're going to be sending out your rooming allocations hopefully within the next week. So as soon as we've finalised all of the information, we will be able to let you know who you're going to be staying with. We've done our best to try and do it where you've asked to share with people. We've tried to accommodate that. All rooms are same sex as well, and anybody who has additional provisions, we have accounted for that. But again, any concerns or queries, please reach out to us sooner rather than later. So if there are any major adjustments that need to be made, we can do that in good time. So breakfast is available at the hotel, but it's not included as part of the room. We will have a breakfast. I think, Sant, correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to do money this year. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So the breakfast will be provided at the hotel. Well, that's still under consideration anyways. And then if that's not the option, then instead you'll be given money for breakfast and lunch.
Yeah, so again, once we know, we will communicate that to you. And there will be money for lunch throughout the week as well, okay? Check-in will be Monday the 10th of April, anytime from 3 p.m. we are going to have, in fact, I think yes. So arrival day. So as I said, check-in at the hotel is from 3 p.m. But if anyone wants to arrive with Pam, we really do encourage it. We've got a room at the Student Union where you'll be able to chill out with other delegates, chill out with the exec, get to know each other, have chats with us. Or if you want to have a look around the city, seriously, we recommend it. It's a really nice time of year. There's loads of shopping opportunities and leisure activities. So loads to do. And actually, conference is pretty packed. So there may not be masses amount of time to go exploring. So the common room we have access to from 9 a.m. We don't expect many of you to be getting there before 9 a.m. But if anybody is attending or intending on arriving really early, please do let us know. That way we can make sure that there are executive on hand to be there and make sure that you know where you're going, basically there to greet you. As I've already said, we will have executive at both Portsmouth Harbour Station and the Hard Interchange. So we'll have a group of exec covering both of those. And we'll have a group of exec at the Portsmouth and Southsea Station as well. And there'll be a group of exec actually at the hotel going to help you with the check-in process and getting you ready for the week, where we'll be giving you your t-shirts and things like that. We will have an evening icebreaker activity before our social that evening. So we will ask that everybody, regardless if you're package 1 or package 2, can join us at 5:30 at the Student Union. Again, we'll give you the details once we finalized it. But it's going to be, what we do is it's a really great chance for you guys to kind of talk to each other. As with an icebreaker activity, break the ice, get to know each other. And this will be for package 1 and package 2 delegates. So after that, you'll have a little bit of time to get ready at the hotel, and then we'll go to the social nights in a little bit. So if you're package 1, package 2, or package 3, we have our BPSA day. So our BPSA day is where we invite sponsors from all across the country, from all different areas of pharmacy. So we have community pharmacy, we have industry pharmacy, RPS, HIW, loads of different areas, and they're going to come and they're going to run workshops with you. And these workshops are tailored for all pharmacy students from foundation year to foundation training year. So year 0 to post-uni. There's a really wide, array of activities that you can do. How it's going to be is, it's going to be 3 or 4 activities in 3 rotations, and you'll pick one of the 4 and then rotate around. I think, Pam, have you raised your hand? If you want to come in, Pam, and just talk about BPSA Day, because I know this is your day, that is absolutely fine.
Kieran, I think you did an excellent job. What you said is great. I pressed it by accident, but yeah, BPSA Day is going to be a great time to network and meet everybody. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Pam. So for anybody that doesn't know, Pam is our ERO, our External Relations Officer. So she talks to all of the different sponsors within the pharmacy world and works with them to deliver these workshops. So this day is all thanks to Pam, really. So we really hope that you're going to enjoy everything that we've put together for you. So that's the morning. We're also going to have a keynote speaker from Pharmacist Support to talk to you about the sort of work that they do and how it's important that you involve yourselves with them. And then in the afternoon, we have our famous PharmX exhibition. So this is basically like a really big careers fair. It's your opportunity to really get to talk to lots of different employers from across the country in all different areas, and kind of talk to them about the job opportunities and what they can do for you, and really learn a little bit more about what is amazingly the theme of our conference, the wider world of pharmacy. So you will have that, and you'll probably spend about 45 minutes to an hour in there, and then you'll rotate. You're going to have a talk from our president, Priyanka, who's working with the director for England for RPS. So they're going to deliver a joint talk about the work that we do. And then we're going to have our IPSF and EPSA officers delivering a talk on international pharmacy and the opportunities within that. And you'll do all 3 of those, and you'll rotate round, because what we'll do is we'll put you into groups on the day, basically. So everybody will get to do everything. So the next bit is a little bit about how you can get involved. So at annual conference, we have 3 committees. So we have the steering committee. So anybody who's not been to conference before, steering committee, or what we do is we, as delegates, submit motions. The motions is what we as executive work on. We turn them into policies and we work on these policies. And the motions stay as policies for 3 years. In previous years, we've had look at things on environmental impacts of prescribing and how we can be more sustainable. We've had a look at things like education around LGBTQ health issues. We've had some stuff on international pharmacies. So a motion can really be anything that you're particularly passionate about within pharmacy. And it's a really good way for you guys to get involved. But the steering committee, they're in charge of basically ordering the motions and working out which goes where, and making sure that any information that may be of use with regards to the motion, surrounding the motion, that's there. And we have 1 executive member who's chosen by us as a current executive. We have 1 member with previous conference experiences and 1 other member, which is chosen by at the beginning of conference. And anybody can be on any of these committees. So you don't necessarily need any previous experience. But it's a really, really great opportunity, and we really encourage you to go for it. Even if you're just hesitant, just go for it, really. So that's the steering committee. The finance audit committee is 1 HLM, which is already agreed upon per the BPSA executive, 1 executive member, which we've already arranged, and 1 other conference delegate, which we'll choose at the beginning of conference. And what they do is they go through the treasurer with the current treasurer, how much they spent, what they've spent it on, and go through all of that and highlight any discrepancies and all of that, and then report their findings back toward the end of conference. So again, if you're interested in anything to do with finance, and maybe down the line, if you're looking at going for BPSA treasurer, that's definitely a great one to sit on. And then the final one is our HLM membership. So what we have every year, we vote on people that we believe should have honorary life membership to the BPSA. These are people who have typically really dedicated a lot of their time to not just the BPSA, but pharmacy in general, and who have worked really hard to kind of support that and really have worked hard. Previously, we've had Bella Shah, who's our immediate past president. She was on the BPSA for 3 years. She had her presidency through COVID, and she is just an absolutely amazing woman who has worked so hard. So it's things like that. And we have a current HLM who we've arranged, an executive member who we've arranged, and a non-executive member. So again, we'll choose the non-executive member, basically a delegate, at the beginning of conference. And there'll be an application form. So anybody can nominate anybody to be an HLM, and then the committee will go through all of the applications and sort of say, yeah, this is the strongest application, I think they should be an HLM. And then that gets announced at the end of conference. It's a really, really lovely thing to do. Okay. So social events. This is the main one because everybody is always like, what do we wear? So we have obviously a social night every night. Sam, were you happy just to talk through these for me?
Yeah, of course. First of all, hi guys. My name is Sant. I'm one of the annual conference organizers, and I'm so excited to have you all in Portsmouth in 17 days. So with the social night, so we have the first night Monday, in which the theme is Guess Who. So essentially in that night, you'd wear any sort of character or someone from the TV that basically their names begin with the same name, with the same letter as your name. I know it's a bit complicated, And then we have the second Tuesday night. It's the Y2K/Pride night. And it's essentially like disco theme and the 2000s. And then on Wednesday, we have awards night, in which we'll have our sponsors as well as like our competitions, winners, and that would be a black tie. And on Thursday, it would be International Cultural Night. So yeah, with that, you can wear anything that represents you, your culture. And then on Friday, comfy PJs for the election planning night. And then on Saturday, it would be the ball night, in which it will be black tie event again. I'm not going to release the locations as of just yet, just because like a little bit of mystery would be nice, and not like tell you guys too much, because I think it's like an experience that you guys it'll be nice to have you there, and then like a first time experience sort of thing. So yeah, that's for the social nights. But if you do have any questions, let me know as well.
Yeah, so just going off of what Sant said, everybody will have 2 things emailed to them alongside, you know, the kind of your roomings and all of that. You'll have a conference handbook, which is a big collection of minutes which have been collated by the SecGen just to talk through all of the work that we've done this year and last year. You'll also have the delegate book. Now, this will contain information about Portsmouth. It will have the timetable for the week, QR codes to get involved and things like that. And on your timetable, we'll have things like the start times of events and where they're going to be. And again, that will be emailed to you, hopefully within the next week. And then you'll get your physical delegate book when you arrive in Portsmouth, and when you check in at the hotel, you'll have a physical copy as well, which we highly advise to keep on at all times, just from a safeguarding perspective. But we will go through all of that on the Tuesday morning when we first sort of start conference business, and go through standing orders and things like that. So we've had a couple of people contact us about Ramadan Provisions. We've been in contact with the chaplaincy service at the university, and their prayer rooms are going to be available throughout the conference. Please ask a member of the executive to direct you. The reason for this is some of the prayer rooms are currently undergoing refurbishment, and we won't know until close to the time which ones are open and available. We will also have 2 classrooms which we will have sort of rearranged that you can also use as prayer rooms throughout the day. The only exception to this will be BPSA day, because you're going to be spread across campus. So anybody who does require a prayer room at that point, we will direct to the university services. And I am also currently in conversation with our Islamic chaplain, Dr. Amara Bone, and she's brilliant. So she's going to be on hand as well to answer any questions. Sant, did you have anything you wanted to add with regards to Ramadan?
I think you've covered everything, and there is a mosque that's about 10 minutes walk and nearby as well. I think other than that, you have included everything, and everyone observing Ramadan would also be given dates. There's just like a little something for you to break your fast. Yeah, I think other than that, you've covered everything, Karen. Thank you.
Yeah, so again, in your delegate book will be a list of all faith centres and the closest ones to the city centre. So, but again, we'll have all executive informed about where you can go on things like this. So you can ask any executive member and they should know the answer. Okay, elections. This is the big one. And actually, last year was my last conference, and I came in not realising anything and not knowing anything about elections. So elections are going to happen on the 15th of April. What we do is we vote for the new BPSA executive team. All positions are up for grabs. So when you sit on the BPSA executive, you start on the 1st of July until the end of June. So that's your mandate, but we elect at annual conference to allow a sort of a handover, changeover period, and sort of do all the admin bits. so that you're when you come into the role, you're not a complete stranger sort of thing. So any BPSA member is eligible to run for any position. So as you're coming as exec, any of you present can run for any of the positions. We're going to have on Thursday, during the lunch period, there's going to be a meet the exec session. So all of the executive will be there, and it's really your opportunity to ask questions about the role, learn a little bit more about what it's like being on exec. And I mean, you'll be able to ask us this throughout the whole week. We're all really friendly and all really approachable, and we welcome these types of questions. But that Thursday lunch is going to be a specific session to ask questions about our roles. Regardless of if you are running or if you're not running, you are expected to attend in smart dress. So shirt and trousers or a dress, however you would what you would wear to work is what we expect from everyone, regardless of if you're actually running in the elections or not. So the Friday night, so that's the 14th, that's going to be our election planning night. So that evening is going to be that's where we say sort of turn up in your pajamas, turn up in your comfies. We're going to have members of the current executive, if they're running for a position, any delegates running for a position, we're going to be writing our speeches, and we're going to have loads of pizza available as well. That's kind of our pizza and planning night sort of thing. And you'll have current exec there to help you write your speeches and again ask any questions you have about the role. The elections are run by returning officers. So these are people that have been on the executive before in some capacity. Excuse me. So they will also be there to answer any questions, but they will be running elections, and you'll meet them potentially on Thursday, more likely Friday. What they'll do is they'll sort of explain how elections is going to work, and the sort of things you should expect. Elections can be a really tense and tough day, we're not going to lie. So please do make sure that you have water, and we will have breaks as well, but it can potentially be a long day. So just to be prepared for that. Okay, does anybody have, one other thing I wanted to mention is it was about the motions that we submit. So you'll notice on your delegate book, your delegate handbook, when it comes out, that we have long sessions titled conference business. Now, what we do is that is where you'll have submitted a motion. So two of you will have submitted a motion together, and that process will be explained to you on day one. And then we sit and we debate the motions, whether we want to pass it, whether we don't want to, and everything to do with that. So it's a lot of debating. It's really fun. A lot of people get really, really into it, but it's one of those things where I want to say, don't be afraid. If you have an opinion, do share it. It's a completely safe space. If you disagree with something, that is totally okay. And we're also going to, after we've had our kind of debate on it, we then vote on it. And again, everything to do with how we're going to vote will be explained to you on the Tuesday. So please ensure, if you can, that you're there. I mean, you should be, as you're attending as a delegate, you should be there all day, every day. If for any reason you can't, please reach out to a member of the executive. Email us at conference@bpsa.co.uk beforehand, so we're aware of it. But when you get to conference, please make yourself aware to a member of the executive as well. It really helps us in terms of a safeguarding perspective, kind of knowing where people are, if people are missing, why they're missing, and everything to do with that. So it's, please just take initiative with things like that. So do we have any questions, Sant? I'm coming to you for this because I can't see questions.
Yeah, of course. So we have a question on if we have online exams or revision sessions, can we take time out of the day to attend them? Of course you can, but it is important that you do let us know beforehand how many days and how long you will be, so that because when the motions are running, each motion when it runs, you can't enter or leave the motion during that time. So either you'd be waiting outside, but it's very important for you to just let us know regardless, due to safeguarding, if you'll be attending or not attending as well. Okay, I hope that answers that question. And then is there a delegate group chat running right now? Kieran, I'll let you take that away.
So, yes, there is. It has been made. The link to which will be sent out in the email that all delegates will receive within the next week. All of the current executive will be listed as admin. So that way you know who to contact if you need anybody. But we really encourage you, when we send that link out, join the group, introduce yourself. It can be really scary and really daunting at first. We know, but again, we will have conversation starters as well from the executive, and don't be afraid to reach out with any questions, pop them in the group chat. And then that group chat will, after conference, that will become the post-conference blues chat. So we keep our chats open for you guys to be kept aware of anything that we're doing on the exec post-conference and before the next conference, with any work that we do, any webinars that we run, and if anybody needs anything. So yes, there is. It will be sent out and you'll be able to join it hopefully in the next week.
And then we have a question on what does the BPSA executive team do actually?
Do you want me to answer that one, or do you?
Yeah,
want to
go for it. Go for it. I'll
Okay.
answer that as well.
So the BPSA executive team, we are a team of 20 people, and we're made up of pharmacy students that range from sort of first year to newly qualified pharmacists. So we have a really wide spectrum of pharmacy knowledge and pharmacy experiences. And what we do is we aim to improve life for pharmacy students, whether that be we create webinars on topics that students may find difficult. We run events on topics that are great CV builders and really great topics that make you look great and sort of stand out in interview. We provide a lot of support where we can with getting through your MPharm degree, and once you're a year 4 and post year 4, kind of our graduate membership. This year we've started doing our story quizzes made by a lovely comps coordinator in her subcommittee, and again just kind of helping you with your knowledge. Our work is driven by students and what they need, and our work centers around trying to make things better for you guys in its simplest terms.
Just to add to that as well, you can think of us as like a bridge between like you guys and the professionals as well. So like in the annual conference, you'll have the sponsors. So we sort of like bring opportunities for our members that they can be a part of, as well as like also that team that you guys can come to if you're unsure on anything, or if there is something. We do like such like vast variety of work. So for example, this year we ran a mental health campaign, disability campaign, climate change campaign. So like we do like vast variety of things in a team. So like just because like if you're a part of a certain role, that doesn't restrict you to just going for and just the responsibility towards just that role. It's so much more than that. Yeah, so you guys will see a lot more of this like in annual conference as well. It's just like you also build like a big family that you just basically every day get inspired by their ideas. It's like really nice to be surrounded by like-minded people just like yourselves, and it's just an amazing experience as well, just to be a part of the team. But yeah, you'll find out a lot more during the annual conference as well about like how we run, and you'll get the opportunity to speak to every so the 20 execs, so you get to speak to them individually as well, and ask any specific questions that you have towards the specific roles. But
Yeah, I think it's really different when you sort of get on exec and you realize actually how much work goes on behind the scenes, and it's going to be really nice for you guys at conference to be able to get a little flavor for all of the work that we do. And as Sam said, we've done loads of campaigns this year, and we still have campaigns left to go. We have got our EDI forum up and running. We ran our first Pharmacy Society symposium earlier in the week. And again, that's just kind of our work, reaching out to pharmacy societies and seeing what we can do to best support them to then support you. So much happens and so much goes on. It's a bit of a blur, to be honest, but it's such a rewarding experience, genuinely.
absolutely. Then we have a question on, can international students apply for being a part of the exec, I'm thinking, or a member? Because as a part of exec, of course you can, as long as you're doing MPharm course at an institution in Great Britain. And even if you're an international student that's doing pre-reg year or foundation year in the UK, yes, you can apply for it. I think, but however, if you ask in terms of membership, I think you can be a part of this IPSF and EPSA, so that lies with the BPSA, and yes, you can be a member of the BPSA via that route as well. So, and then we have, on average, how long does each speech last during the elections?
Okay, so during elections, each candidate that is running in elections will have 3 minutes to make their speech. This is then followed. Let's walk you through what happened last year. Is we try and work top down. So we'll start with president first. We had 3 people run for president last year, and each of them had 3 minutes to make their speech. They were brought in one by one. They made their speech. They left. They brought in the next person. Made the speech. Brought in the next person. Once each candidate has made their speech, all of the candidates are brought into the room, and there are 2 minutes allocated per candidate for questions. So in that case, we had 3 candidates running, so we had 6 minutes of questions. Typically, that works out about 2 questions per candidate, and these questions come from you guys as delegates. So you will be able to ask any question that you feel is related to the role and help you make your decision on who you want to vote for in that moment. Once the time for questions has been finished, the candidates will be led out of the room. Then all of the delegates currently in the room will vote. That process takes about 5 minutes, sometimes up to 10, 15 minutes if there's sort of a big divide in the voting. And if there's a lot of candidates, it can be really close, and you may have to do kind of repeat rounds of voting to be able to have a majority, and all that will be explained to you by the returning officers team. So one position, we would expect, if 3 candidates run, would take about half an hour. If one candidate runs, it normally takes about 10-15 minutes. Last year we had one position, I think it was Eastern Area Coordinator and Publications, both had between 6 and 8 people running for them, and they went on a little bit longer. The only exception to that rule is anybody who's thinking of running for annual conference organizers. So me and Sant's role currently, you will have, I believe, 4 or 5 minutes to present, and you should have some sort of presentation prepared as well. Whether that be a poster that you talk through, whether that be a PowerPoint, you get slightly longer, just due to the fact that it's a role that you kind of, it requires a little bit more thought usually on where you want to go within the country. But me and Sam will be on hand throughout the whole week if you're thinking of running for ACO. it's the sort of thing, anybody who's thinking of running for elections, you do not need to start thinking about it yet. Honestly, a lot of us who are currently sitting on the committee did not think we were going to run until Friday night. So if you're already thinking about running for it, great, you know, absolutely brilliant. But you will have the whole week to decide, and we will be there to support you like every step of the way with elections.
Thank you. Hope that answers your question. Then we have a question on, for those that will be fasting, will there be things put in place so that we can eat in the morning at the time we close our fast? So what we recommend is, because you'll be allocated money for your breakfast and your lunch, so before the evening events, I'd suggest, there is Sainsbury's nearby, there is
There's
just
big
like down the
Tesco,
line,
little
there's big
Tesco.
Tesco, yeah, on the commercial road and stuff. So you guys can just pop in and just grab food. We won't recommend, I know, like in the morning, when you guys get up, to actually like go at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning because of safeguarding issues. Just have some food with yourself, like in the room, with the money that's provided. That's the way. And then for the closing of the fast, we have made sure like our social events, like main meals are served at 8 p.m. So when you will be breaking your fast. But if there is anything else that we could be potentially missing or anything, please do let us know as well, because it is very important considerations for sure. So yeah, that's that question. And then, would it be possible to take part in evening events possible to take part in events during the day and take time out for revision during the evening? So of course, like whether it's for the day events or the evening events, we would recommend for you to join us, especially for conference business. Like definitely, like it's very important for you to be there, because we do need to meet quorum as well. And your voice would be very important because you do represent like around 150 members of the BPSA. So every single person during the day events, definitely it will be very important. And evening time, it's a great opportunity to just network with people, other delegates, part of the execs, and get to know everyone. But of course, if you do need, again, time for revision in the evening, as long as you just let us know, because we do want to make sure that you're still fed, so if you just let us know in advance, and then we can see what we can do. But if you can just email, I popped in an email earlier, if you'll be taking time out on all the evening events, or if you're planning on doing something like that, so we can make like a different arrangement for you. But yeah, please do let us know in advance, like either today or tomorrow, just so that like we know, and we can allocate like dinner for you accordingly as well.
Yeah, so also just to kind of let you guys know, so our day will start about between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and then we'll finish around about 5:30. Our dinners aren't going to start until 7, so we're saying to everybody, get to the dinner about 7:30, and then we'll serve food a little bit after that. So you will have a couple of hours in between finishing conference business and dinner starting to be able to do any revision that you need to. There's, or if you want to go exploring, so there's absolutely time to do that. Our main thing for us is obviously we want to, as Sam said, we want to make sure that you get fed. So and because dinner's at that time, even if you just want to join us for dinner and then go after that, we really recommend that you join us. Wednesday especially is obviously our awards night, so we'll have all of the sponsors that have come during the day will be there as well, and it's a really, again, it's a great opportunity to network, and it's nice to get dressed up all fancy. I think we had our Pharmacy Society ball yesterday, and it was so good to be able to dress up and look fancy and just have a really wonderful time. But absolutely, we know exams are coming up, we know it's the Easter holiday, so if you do want to take time out for revision, absolutely do.
I think that's the questions we've had so far. As if there is any other questions that you have regarding annual conference, please do ask it. We are here to answer anything, even just anything that wasn't clear. Or so like the morning, so when you guys arrive, I know the check-in. So if you arrive at 3 p.m., please do come directly to the hotel. And you will be checked in there. However, if you do arrive earlier than 3 p.m., come to the Portsmouth Student Union. I think that's the main thing I wanted to make sure. And you will have our numbers. You will just drop us a message if you're not sure where you are, or if you don't know where to go. Please just drop a message, because there will be execs that will be like, like Kieran said, around the stations and the coach stations, etc. as well. So please, like, just don't don't be lost. It's fine. We are there to like help you guide along and stuff. So yeah, please do, and like make the most like out of the conference. Like, it's like, I remember like last year when I went, like that was my first annual conference and I just wasn't sure what to expect, because it was like the first time. But then when I was there, I remember like every day, like I'd be so inspired by everyone that was around, like the experience in itself, like such amazing memories. That's just like, it's just an experience that's like very hard to just explain sometimes, because you really have to be present. And I'm so glad that we'll be sharing that together. So I am very excited to have you guys in Ports, and obviously just do come up and just be yourself and just enjoy it. Like come and speak to us, like ask us any questions that you may have, like throughout the time of the annual conference. We're more than happy to help. As well, like in the delegate handbook, there is emergency contacts as well. That's one of the main things I wanted to mention. If there is anything, please do just contact us straight away. There's also, again, execs as admins on WhatsApp, so you have like that direct contact as well. There is welfare officers assigned for each evening as well, and the mornings. So please just but it doesn't matter like who you go to, you can still go to any of us and ask those questions. So we are there, like more than happy to help. So, yeah.
Definitely. So next steps, obviously we've said that you're going to have emails going around, so please do be checking your emails. Also check out our Instagram at BPSA annual conference. Very soon we're going to be posting a little bit of information about all the speakers who are attending this year. We have 7 speakers lined up, and fitting with the theme of the wider world of pharmacy. We have people from military pharmacy, research and clinical research, academia, aesthetics pharmacy, and business. So we have a really wide array of speakers from loads of different areas of pharmacy coming to speak to you. So do keep an eye out for a little bit about them in the coming days. Nobody else has any questions, I'll just leave it open for a little bit in case any more come through.
Yeah, of course. So we have a question: when will the food options for each day and evening be available? So you guys had the opportunity to fill in the dietary requirements via the form that we sent through. If you haven't done it, please do. So it makes life a lot easier to just get the information, and then we have to give that information to the venues as well. So if you haven't filled out your inventory forms, please do that as soon as possible. It is very important that we get that. And within that, you'll be, if you can tell us whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or you want halal food, if there is any other dietary requirements in there. So we will make sure that the food and the dietary requirements are met, for that night.
Yeah, and there's going to be a mixture of sit-down meals and buffet style meals, but it's all been sort of pre-sorted within the dietary requirements, in line with where we're going, which restaurants for each night. So yeah, all of the food has been sorted, and it's all been done in accordance with allergies and dietary requirements. So yeah.
Also, like all of our social venues, like we have made sure that the chicken is halal as well. If whether if that's your like requirement, so don't worry about that either.
Yeah, and any sort of dietary requirements, it will be different every night, because certain venues have asked for certain things just to help them with the way they do things. So one of our events will have anybody with specific allergies will have sort of like a pre-plated meal for them to avoid things like cross-contamination, and sit-down meals. Again, your dietary requirements will have already been made available to them. So yeah.
I have popped in the Instagram for the BPSA annual conference as well. Please feel free to follow it. There will be updating any like social events and themes, as well as the key speakers like Kieran mentioned as well. And also the exec, every day we've been posting a story on one tip every day that they recommend. So it's quite fun for you to just watch that and just know, like, you know, yeah, what to expect as well. So we'll wait for another few minutes if there's any questions. What events will take place, and is there anything we need to prepare for the event? You don't necessarily need to prepare for any events other than the elections, in which you will be given the opportunity for the night before to prepare your speech, and just have fun, I guess, at the events, and just, you know, there are fun themes, but by no means, like, of course, like dress as per like how you're comfortable, for sure, and just get involved really, but nothing like specifically that you need to prepare for that I can think of, unless you can think of anything, Kieran.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really going back to the kind of the theme of the socials. So awards night and ball night are obviously black tie, so please bring a black tie dress, or dress code I should say, and obviously elections, please dress smartly. International and culture night, it's all about celebrating your cultures, so if you feel like you want to bring any cultural wear, you know, we absolutely encourage it, please do. Our election planning night, pajamas and comfy clothing, it's going to be a stressful enough evening, so that's why we've got we've got pizza, dress comfort, sort of things like that. Y2K and Pride night, yeah, it's sort of just bringing stuff to dress within the theme, but even if you don't bring stuff, Portsmouth's got fancy dress shops and loads of stores that you can like quickly go out and buy stuff in. I remember last year, because I didn't realize I needed to dress smart for elections, I was running down to the Birmingham Primark to try and find a shirt. So it's it happens.
It's all part of the experience, I think. It's all part of the experience. Then we have, will there be cultural international performances happening on Thursday, like Global Week stuff? So our cultural and international night is actually organized by the PDA. So even we don't know what they have in store for us. So yeah, just really excited for it really, but I'm not sure what they have in store just yet, so can't really answer that question. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, the PDA, they like to organize one night, and they do everything from where we eat and what entertainment. They just let us know. So yeah, we'll find out when we get there. Last year it was a really lovely buffet at an Indian, and we just got to talk to loads of PDA representatives who were also in attendance, and it was a really lovely, again, chance to kind of chat and network. At that point I was starting to hear a lot more kind of election chatter about running and things like that. But yeah, we'll if there's anything regards to entertainment, we'll let you know in advance, or on the day.
Absolutely. Can I dress as any character on Monday? I would encourage you to dress up as a character from like the TV or movies that like your name begins with. So like the first letter. So that's like the idea, and it's a great like conversation starter for you to like, you know, talk about like what you're wearing and like who you are kind of thing. So but of course, like, at the end of the day, if you do want to just dress up as any character on Monday, feel free to just do that. No worries at all.
Yeah, it's always a fun little game trying to people trying to guess who you've come as, and you sort of I still don't know who I'm going to come as, because there's not many characters I can think of that begin with the letter K. So if anybody's got any ideas, please let me know.
Yeah, I know. I think there is a few with S, but I don't know. I'm going to dress up as just yet.
Yeah, a lot of us don't have our costumes sorted yet. So
yeah.
Again, don't worry if you haven't got it sorted yet.
What is the hotel called that we'll be staying in? Is Travelodge. It's Travelodge City Centre, Portsmouth. Please take like either a picture or something of the address like right now, if that is going to be a hard find for you. So, but we will send all the information in the delegate handbook as well as the conference handbook as well. All the information will be there. So, but you can take a picture right now.
Yeah, as Sant said, all of these details are going to be coming out to you in an email similar to the one that you got about this webinar. So please just make sure that you're sort of paying attention to that, as that will have all of like the really important final details that you need.
Someone has a suggestion for you.
Oh yeah.
Kylo Ren from Star Wars.
I can do that.
You can do that
one.
That's actually that's a very, very, very good idea.
I like that. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do for that one.
Thanks for that. Is parking available?
So anybody who's driving to Portsmouth, because Portsmouth has a sort of a green city policy, so certain cars and certain makes of cars will then have to pay a fee basically to drive around the city. So what we recommend is that you use the park and ride just outside the city. It costs £14 for a week's ticket basically, and with that you can use any of the 2 routes that go around the city from the park and ride. And one of the stops is a little bit outside or a little bit away from the Travelodge that you're staying in. There is parking at the hotel, however, it's limited and first come, first serve. And there's also parking within the city. There's a couple of multi-stories. They vary in price. So we highly encourage that you use the park and ride if you are driving. But if you are going to park within the city, there is plenty available.
We have a request from our SecGen, Noni. If anyone knows any characters or anything beginning with N, please pop them through as well. Yeah, thank you. So what is the address for Portsmouth Student Union?
It will be in the delegate book that will be shared with you as it comes out. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but you will have it in the delegate book, which you'll pick up on day 1. Okay.
Wait for a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Last few minutes to ask any questions, guys, or any suggestions for characters for Kieran or me,
or any
or
of
Noni.
the tech, really. But again, if you do think of anything, obviously Sant's put the email and our Instagram, so please do feel free to reach out with any questions that you have. we check the emails and the Instagram daily, so you should get hopefully a quick response, unless it's one that we need to go away and check something, and then we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
We have Naruto.
Oh,
I know it's
I
anime.
can definitely see Nani turning up as Naruto,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
know.
So I'm not gonna let her forget that one now.
With yellow hair as well.
Absolutely.
I love that.
I rate that one.
Yeah, I know.
I think I'd pay.
You
I
guys
think
are
Nani's-
really good at giving suggestions. I think this should be a Q&A, like us asking you questions as well.
that's going to be a separate webinar altogether, honestly. Maybe we'll do an Instagram poll.
Definitely. Neo from the Matrix.
I might wear that on Y2K night, to be fair. So get ye oldie sunglasses out that I took to a festival.
Any suggestions for S, maybe in the last minute? I really don't have a clue. Can I wear female clothes for Pride Ball as a guy?
Yes, absolutely. Whatever you feel most comfortable in, honestly. Whatever you feel most comfortable in. As long as it
Absolutely.
fits the theme, it's brilliant. Okay, I think we'll call it a night. If anybody does have any questions, please do feel free to reach out. Otherwise, all of us here at the BPSA are really looking forward to welcoming you to Portsmouth in 17 days. So we cannot wait to see you then, and we hope that you have an amazing time at conference with us. So thank you very much, and we will see you very soon.
Thank you very much all for joining. And as Kieran said, we can't wait to have you all like in Portsmouth by the beach, We're just gonna have the best time.
Having a good
honestly.
time.
Exactly. Look forward for it, and keep an eye out on our Instagram for any updates as well as emails. And please do your forms if you haven't.
Yeah, please do.
Please do.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.